Hello. Okay. Hello and welcome to this class. And today we'll be continuing from where we stopped last week. If if you are if you're already online and you can see this presentation, you can let me know by saying something in the chat box. If you're already online and you can see this presentation, let me know. Sorry. If you're already online, ouch. Okay. Thank you. I can see some of your comments already. So let's begin. Just one person, no? But okay, fine. So okay, you're welcome. I've not gone through your assignment yet. I will do that after this class. But we'll continue. Last week we went through how to create this, and I gave an assignment on this. There are many ways we can finish up one or two items here. Although this view is from the 3D view, it is still something that we can easily replicate on our site plan view without much stress. I still have some lagging in my file, and it's something that I want to stop as much as I can. Good morning, good morning. I can see a lot of people joining the class. So I'm trying to avoid this lagging. I think I'll just have to guess that it's some of the heavy models I use from this particular bed that's causing the lagging. Thought I deleted it last time, but I think this element because it does not. It's not just good having lags in your files. These chefs too, they are high quality, but I can't pay the price of having so many lags going through this. So it's better to use models that will allow your project work seamlessly than to be fighting with models that will keep delaying you throughout the project. Okay. So we're up to how many people now in class? About 20, 24. Okay. Fine. So let's begin for today. In today's class, we'll be looking how to continue our presentation plans, create presentation and floor plans, and also work our way through our presentation. We've already created some wonderful sheets, so we can right-click on the sheet, click on New Sheet, select the particular sheet we've created the last time. I think this is the presentation sheet, and it opens. Now, in this Revit, you can see we have, it's broken down in such a way that you can see the files directly underneath the sheet. So it's because it's broken, helps sort that out. So when we have a new sheet, don't forget, as you place in your sheets, it's always good to name them properly. So we have two site plan sheets. We did all this one last week, and we're continuing with our ground floor plan. So once you create a new sheet, you drag your ground floor plan, and then you place them. If you are using any Revit from Revit 2024, you discover that there will be a blue icon here showing you that this sheet has been placed, this view has been placed on a sheet. And then you can place it. Now, it's always good to go with planning, like I said last week. If you touch this title panel, you'll discover that we have already positioned where our floor plans could be. So it's good to, go with some planning with regards to that. So you can see where our floor plan is. It's almost, I can either move my sheets just to position the floor plan within that same section. Now, once this is done, you've placed your sheets, you've placed your sheet properly, your design is there. You'll notice that it's still bigger than the sheet, so you double click and you use the crop view region to sort this out. So the crop view region is somewhere around here. So you click on this icon and then you click on show crop view, and both of them will turn on. So what this does in simple terms is that it crops your views, just like you will crop an image. It crops it into the sheet. And so this is what we've done. And if just like you're planning your sheet, you just crop it to the exact point where you need it. Now, it's always good to have some good space, just a little bit of space around your building on the sheet you are using. So if you are using a tight sheet, you might want to adjust it or stuff like that. And this is okay. This is very good to carry on as you've placed your presentation floor plans on your sheet. There are many ways to work out your presentation floor plans using visibility graphics, which we have covered sometime last semester, so I might not want to waste your time so much with that. But there are some things you may not want to show that should carry the day, like this floor, the site floor plan, and some other elements. But mostly the site floor plan, you might decide to hide it in view 1 or override graphics in view 2. So if you set it by element, maybe make it halftone, and the surface transparency, if you increase it, it's going to look like it's fading out, so that it's not the main element in the building. So if I fade it to 100, it's going to fade out completely. But maybe if you need it for a presentation of some sort, and you want to have that feel a little bit, why not? You may decide to leave it. So some people may just decide to take it out entirely. It's up to them to do whichever one. Then the other thing you might want to do is to turn off the boundaries around the floor plan so that it doesn't look kind of odd. If you have a good system, you turn on your shadow. If you don't have a good system, then you might be thinking of leaving it off. But having your shadow on is also going to give you this kind of very good view. Not the way it's looking now. You have to set it in your visibility graphics. Also try as much as you can to download components to put in the spaces. That will also help your presentation. And it also helps your design in terms of functionality. I had to remove the beds I had here because they were very heavy. Just typed CM for components. Under here, I can type search to search for new types of bed if I have any. I don't. So I might decide to go load family for beds, just so that my presentation plan might look a little bit better than normal. So I have my Revit library here. Under the library, I'll go to furniture. Under furniture, I'll go to beds. If you don't have a good Revit library, you can build one by carefully downloading throughout the time or seeking for downloading it from online. So whichever way, you can actually get a good Revit library. This particular one, another thing about libraries, like we've seen in this tutorial, is try as much as you can to keep it lightweight. If you have libraries that are like 10 MB, if you use 10 of those components in your file, that's 100 MB. So this is just like less than 1 MB. So this is light, and it's better for us to always use light furniture and component. The truth is, you may not necessarily need them to render. You just need them for the presentation plans, and you can easily get better components in your render engine. Whichever one you decide to use, you can easily get. So components, lightweight components is the best way to go, both for vegetation, trees. It makes your work easier. You can see at the beginning of this tutorial, sorry, this is turned on. section box is turned on that extent here. So you can see at the beginning of this tutorial, it was difficult to navigate the file. Look at how easy it is. The cars too are lightweight. They are not like very complex 3D cars with many faces. So as long as you are working in Revit and you want to enjoy your time working in Revit, ensure you use lightweight components. I'm all for lightweight components now, saying how very easily heavyweight components can make your file cumbersome and, So how do you know components that are lightweight? They have very few faces. And then you can also check the size from the family unit. So let's go back to our ground floor plan. And I want to rename this sheet so that it doesn't keep confusing me on this right-hand side. I want to use, let me see if I can use my magnifier sometimes, because when I go to some areas, this is really big. So let me escape it. This is 150. Okay, it's 100. Let me see, 200. Okay. I wanted to see if I can use my magnifier, because sometimes when I go to this bottom area of my screen, I don't know if it's very clear, but I will get something else maybe in the next class that I can just zoom in where my cursor is. So A22, I can right click on the sheet, rename it, and rename. So each sheet by creation has a number, and it has a name. So and once you right click on the sheet, you click once on the sheet and right click, you can select rename, and then rename the particular sheet. So I made a mistake. That's supposed to be 3D. Fine. So we're on our ground floor plan. We've created beds, everything lightweight, good to go. So like I said, double click to activate the view. If you have a very good system, you can turn on the shadows. It's not a do or die. If you don't have a good system, don't spoil it. Then click on the graphic display option here. Click on this box. And then from here, you can set the intensity of the shadows, not the direction, just the intensities. So here you can see you can turn on cast shadows. If you can, this smooth with anti-aliasing makes the lines more smoother, something like as if you worked on it in a photo editing software, something of that nature. Under lighting is where you can see how to increase the intensity of the shadows. By default, it's on 60. If I bring it back to 15, you can see it's lighter. I normally try to keep mine between 20 to 25. So anywhere between 20 and 25, that's just okay. And if once you have these settings, I'm sure most of you do, but once you have these settings done once, you necessarily may not need to do it over and over again. So look at the anti-aliasing, look at this way the floor plan is coming out. Over and over again, you just create a template for it. The next thing again is to set the direction of the shadows. You do that using the sun path. So under sun path, we have sun settings. We have solar study, we have sun path on and off, but we'll go to the sun settings. So the sun settings here, basically, you don't need to adjust a lot of things, but you keep it through the angles, because sometimes when these angles are too long, they might affect your presentation. So I'm not doing this based on anything. I'm just doing it based on how I want the stuff to look and let it look nice. So first of all, relative to view, ground floor plane, I might take it, leave it at natural ground floor plan. Sometimes, if you don't want the shadows to be long, you can also put it exactly on the level you are working on. And then here, I just have some settings. I think anywhere between, sometimes if you make this maybe 225 and you make this 15, click on apply, the shadows are very closer to the building. So these are just some basic settings I like to play around with. Have the shadows, but don't let it be too close to the building. Sometimes we can play with this anywhere between, sometimes we put it to 10 and maybe to 205. I just play around these two numbers somewhere between 205, 10, 5, just to get very close shadows. So you can see these numbers, they work perfectly for me, so we can go with it. Maybe 205 and 10, fine, and ground floor. So I've set up my presentation floor plan. One more thing about presentation floor plans is if you can have some legends and schedules, some notes, if you can have a call out of a 3D area somewhere here, or an axonometric view in the next floor plan, all those things, they do help. So it's left for you to know how much details and stuff you want to fit in. If you have somewhere to copy from or an inspiration to look at while making your presentation floor plan, it does help a lot. So for now, I'm just going to place a small schedule here for presentation floor plan, just so that it looks kind of active. I don't like to leave my floor plans empty this way. There is something I just noticed. Let me deactivate this view. I just noticed my ground floor plan text is cutting short because I changed the name of the sheet. I'll double click this. What happened here is that I just need to increase this length of this name somewhere to exactly this point, and then load back into the project and override the existing view. So that's been sorted out. So I'm just going to show you how to position, let's say, schedules within your floor plans. You see all these other spaces here, it can also be left for annotation, stuff like that. So if we have some annotations here that you just want to point out, we can leave that space for annotations. So the fact that you have spaces left and right of your design also allows you to have some annotations. So under schedules, let's say we want to create something like a schedule here. Right click, I can say new schedule / quantities basically. And what I want to do is a room schedule. So I'll scroll down to rooms. This is it. And then I'll click OK. Basically, that's that. And then I want, maybe basic things I want is the room name, the room area. Once you do that, it leads you to this room schedule stuff here, okay, wow, this is nice. By holding control, you can zoom in and zoom out very different aspects of Revit. I didn't know that. Let me see. Okay, this looks good. This looks good. Okay. Okay, that's nice. So, these are all the room spaces we've created in this design. Some rooms have not yet been placed. So what I want to do here is I've created a room schedule. I'm just going to do some settings here. The first settings I want to do is under fields. I'll just click here, fields. This is the first setting. The second one is filtering. So I want to filter, there are two items here, name and area. So I'll go back because I want to filter also by level. So I'll add a column called level. I can move this column I just added called level to the top by clicking these icons here on the down part. Click on OK. So I have levels, and I just want the rooms on ground floor because that's the ones I want to use. So under filter, I'll click on edit, and I'll say filter by level, and I'll say level equals to the ground floor, and I'll click OK. So what this does is that it's only the levels that are on the ground floor. It's only levels that are on the ground floor that we are going to be seeing in our schedule, which is okay. So if you look at this, we just have levels on the ground floor. Another thing we might want to do under this is to work out the appearance. Under the appearance, we have graphics. We have the lines, the thickness of the lines, the font color stripe rule. I've not used the stripe rules now, but let's give it a try. So let's say we need orange on the font color stripe rules. Show title, stuff like that, okay? So let me see how this works. Okay, this looks good. This looks good. Room schedule, I'll write ground floor. Then, so under appearance, you can do some settings here. Even if you don't want any grid lines, that means they are going to come with. You can select a column here, and there is an option here for you to click hide. And I think, is that okay? This is it here, hide columns. You can hide a full set of columns. And so I've created this schedule. Let me see if it works on my sheets. I'll go back to my sheets. It's a ground floor. I'll just click and drag and place it here. So this looks kind of good. There are still options to edit it here, even good. The fun thing about this is these are automated sheets. So if you have things like this, it makes your it changes here. So this is just, for me, this is just the basic settings. If you double click on it, it takes you to these settings, and you can still adjust anything from the appearance here. If you don't want any blank row before the first starter, fine. Okay, now you can even have two colors. I didn't even know. So let me play around with the two colors and see if it works. Okay, it does. So this is wonderful, to say the least, and the graphic upgrade in Revit is becoming better and better and better. So let's take this as our presentation, and we can go ahead to recreate it, adjust one or two things, add some more information. So you can see the guidelines I imputed. I'm using it to arrange my work. If I go to the next sheet, it's the same thing I'm going to do. So let's try this for our other floor plans. You right click, new sheet, presentation horizontally. That's the sheet we've already worked on. If I don't adjust the name of the new sheet I created here, I can always come here, double click here, and then call this first floor plan. And it's going to immediately change on the sheet too. So you can see it here, first floor plan. I'll drag in my first floor plan and then place it. I've placed it anyhow. I'm going to just select this and make sure that my sheet is within where the first floor plan should be. So this is okay. This is okay. I'm moving the sheet up with my up and down button. Is the sound back? Hello? Is the sound back? Hello? Let me see. Is the sound back? Okay, I'm just going to wait. If the sound is back, somebody can tell me if the sound is back. Okay, so we are good to go. Okay, all right. Thank you. So, on the ground floor, I don't know how long of a time it was off, but I don't think it's that much, but I might just go back a little bit. So what I was trying to do here, basically, um, what I was trying to do initially before my sound went off is I was copying the view template during that period. I hope that was what I was doing. So once you've created a view and you've saved the view as a view template, you can copy it and come to a new view and apply. So you can always copy templates from view templates and apply. So let me give you an example. This is a view template I've already applied. I applied it from apply view template to current view. There are various view templates here you can create. And once you've created them, then you can always use them over and over again. That's what we're doing. So I've set this one up. I was talking about the schedules here on the right-hand side. And in this schedule, I've duplicated it. And I'm just double-clicking on this one. I want to rename this schedule to first floor here. So this is it. I'll just rename this one first to first floor. And then under filter, I only need to change levels equal to first floor. Click on OK and everything changes. If you want to have the total square area per floor, you can always do that with I don't know if it's under fields. Let's see, sorting and grouping. Okay, under sorting and grouping, you can say ground totals. Under ground totals, you can put tiles, count, totals, tiles and title and totals, something like that. And this is called ground total. So I can put here, I can change this title from ground total to floor area. So, and click OK. So this will always come out with a total here under sorting and grouping. It didn't. Title and totals. Sort by area. No, I don't want this sorting. I just want totals. Let me see this. It's not giving me any totals. Sort by name, ascending, title and totals. Okay. Normally, total is supposed to come out here. I don't know why it's not. But I won't waste time with it. When we're dealing with schedules, we can come back here to deal with that. So I've done this for first floor. I'll click, drag, and place. And so I have stuff like this for first floor, for ground floor. This is how my presentation plan looks. So far we've gotten a site plan. This cannot be considered a site plan. Last week I wasn't even feeling myself that much. This site plan 3D, we have good ground floor plan today. We have a good first floor plan. We'll continue with the roof plan, the same method. You create a new sheet. You take your roof plan. Make sure you're on that floor plan. Take your roof plan to the site. You position it in the right place. Same scale. You double click. You apply the crop views. These are standard procedures that you should always follow in making your presentation work look organized. You turn off the edge views, deactivate view. Most times I hide the title, just the ones with no title, and then apply view templates. The view must be active. View template, apply it to current view. Let me check my presentation view. This will not work. I know why it won't work, because it has a cut view range. So when I apply this view template, it's going to cut the roof. So you can see that. But I want the same view template. So all I need to do here, because we're sharing knowledge, so I need to be going through this. When I apply a view template, what happens is each view template has a particular level it cuts the plan at. So because it has cut the plan at this level, you can see the roof is not showing, which is not what we want. So under extent, you go to view range here on the left. Under view range, click on edit. So basically what happens, the cut plane here is at 1.8 and the top is at 2.3. Because it's a roof, we need it high above. So I'm going to leave this at maybe 6,000, and then oh, sorry. I need to know what's causing this. I guess my cord is shaking and I might need to sort this out. Is it back? Is it back? Um, Sorry. Okay, I guess it's back. Sorry. I. Hello. Okay. Though I'll have to fix my mic. It's shaking. I know. So I'll have to fix my mic. What I'll do is I'll try my possible best to be listening on while I'm working, so that anytime it goes off, I'll fix it up. But I think I know what's causing it. So, so we'll continue with the elevations, basically. Um, oh, sorry. I need to know what's causing this. I guess this will not work. I know why it won't work because it has a cut view range. So I'm going to leave this at. Okay, so I know where I stopped when I was talking about the cut view range. Oh, sorry. I need to know what's causing this. I guess so. This will not work. I know why it won't work because it has a cut view range. Let's continue. Sorry for all the delays back and forth with the mic. I'm going to try and fix it up by the next class. We won't have any of such breaks. Okay? So we can continue with our presentation plans. The most important thing I'm trying to work out here is quality. Now I'm a little bit confused. I know the audio is back. I know it stopped for a while, but I'm pretty sure it's back and working now. Yeah, it is. Okay. So we'll continue this presentation for our other works like the elevations, our sections. The quality of the presentation is what we are trying to get at. We want to make sure that our presentation is, one, consistent, and secondly, our template is repeated over and over again. The same thing for the elevations. So I've created a new elevation view now, and I might be thinking, okay, at what point do I place my elevation for consistency? So when I was drawing these hidden lines, I think my focus was just basically on the floor plans. But nevertheless, I might also be able to position my elevations consistently on one side of the sheet. So it's good to have it somehow centralized. I won't lie. So it works better that way. And you now go ahead to start working your presentation out so that it looks like something good. So here you can easily rename the sheet here. Let's say this is the south elevation. It's always good to use cardinal points to name your elevation. So that it marries with what you are doing in your Revit file. And then double click to activate view. Use the right scale. Scale 1:100 for me here looks okay. My crop views are already active. You can see that already here. So I don't need to crop anything really because it's not that big. But if you need to hide things that might block part of your elevation, why not? You can do that. These particular trees are blocking my elevation, so I can right click, hide in view. These other ones are not, so I can leave that. There are some settings I'd already done here prior. These elevation tags, I might select all instances visible in view or override graphics in view by category and maybe leave them at halftone so that they are not as bright as possible. So they are there, but they are in halftone, which is better for the view. That's better for all of us. So I'm going to leave this, and we can proceed this way. This is excellent. I've turned on some shadows in the past already on these settings. I guess so. So most of you might have noticed one or two things. So here you can apply various view templates already set for you in Revit. We're using shaded. The glasses are really blue because of the material. You might be able to change that. I have no business changing that right now. because if I wanted to, I can actually, but I'm going to leave it this way for now. So basically, you can sort out your presentation elevation, and there are one or two things I just want to touch on. One is on the graphic display options, we have this option for background, and under background we have this option for gradient, sky, or image. So if you use the gradient, this is the settings. You can adjust it if you want. If you can make the base white, if you don't want any feeling of anything white below the building, and this can still work. We have the option of depth queuing. It works in elevation. Closer to the building are darker, and things that are farther from the building are faded. So if you do this, if you keep adjusting the depth queuing, like I'm doing here, can you see that? If I bring it, if it's up to 0 and 100, everything is faded. If you start adjusting the depth queuing back, some things that are closer to you will be brighter. You see this roof at the back here is slightly faded. So you can use depth queuing to your advantage this way. And then this light and dark, how much of light and dark fade you are going to get in between. So this is also good to create a sense of depth in your view. So these are basically the two things I just wanted to show us. We still have this realistic view, but mostly it's for 3D views. It doesn't work on elevation. And you can finish this setting, for example, and save this as a view template. You can see, even while working on your graphic display option. So if I say 01 presentation elevation, it saves it, and I don't need to, and I wouldn't need to go back again to create this. So what we try to do with Revit and in this course is to automate our presentation quality in such a way that we can easily repeat it. And so this is that. If I wanted this longer and I expanded the horizon, you see my view is still going to fade through the whole sheet. So but from now, I think this is okay. I might not want to do more than this. Turn this off and then deactivate view. So I have this view this way. I'm trying to just centralize it because I didn't plan for its positioning. And I can continue this same thing for the other 4 views. So I right click, new sheet, the same thing here, and then if I pick another elevation, let's say the north elevation, I'll pick it here. I've already cropped it to a certain degree. All I need to do now is to go to view before I start working, view template. Okay, sorry, I need to activate this view because I'm working on sheet. So the view is active now. I double clicked to activate the view, and then just select 01 presentation, apply properties, and click on OK. So all the properties of the presentation I just did in the front elevation will come to this elevation, and we are good to go. So it's as simple as that. I might want to extend 1 or 2 things, stuff like this, play around all these things. It depends on how much I might want to sort this out. I want to be sure that in my graphics view display, the depth queuing is on. Now, depth queuing can change slightly depending on the view you are in. So let me say, if I'm in this view and I keep coming closer, I will find maybe different reactions to the depth queuing. So it might be view specific. So you might want to play around it in different views. So it gives you that sense of depth. I didn't touch this particular element here. It's supposed to be faded, halftone. I hope it is, but it's not looking like it is. So I'm dragging them. Once you see this dotted line and they're in 3D, once you drag one, all of them drags in all the views. So that's the disadvantages of having them in 3D. It's an advantage sometimes it can be a disadvantage. This vegetation is looking like it's hanging, should be on the ground. natural ground floor. So sort of this works well for us. We can move on with it. Is it perfect as much as I would like it? Maybe not, but I think we are good to go. I'm sure you understand the context. I don't like these views clustering, these levels clustering. I always find it annoying if I see it clustered like this. And override graphics in view by category and halftone. So this particular one didn't join the view template. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I created it from that section. Maybe if I had created it from the elevation itself, from the view itself, it would have joined. So basically, this is how to go about creating elevations. The same method will also be the same way you create your sections. It's just the same way. In these two methods, something to keep in mind. Number one is that for every view, you need to know what is the most important thing in that view and work to achieve that thing. So you don't want, let me say, in a view where your elevation lines are not the most important thing. You don't want your elevation lines like these levels to now be so pronounced that they are now over and above everything. Sometimes these things can get too faded. I agree. No lies about that. There is a setting for it under manage. You can go to under manage. We have a set where we have additional settings. You see, we have halftone and underlay settings. So sometimes it's 50-50. If you want it to be slightly, on the dark side, we can do that. It gets slightly brighter. So maybe if you are concerned it won't show at all, you might work on the settings there. But the most important thing is hierarchy of convenience of information. So when you're in a particular elevation, this is the most important thing. And then let's convey that information. Let's not keep any element that doesn't need to be bright in the scene and stuff like that. There are some settings I have in this elevation, like the ambient shadow that is on. That's why you see that this area seems darker, because the ambient shadow is on. So if it wasn't on, it would have been different. So it depends on the kind of amount of quality of work you want to create. So sometimes these things are left to individual choice. Most important thing is you have these tools, and then we'll find a way to apply it. So we've done for 2 elevations. I believe you can do for more elevations and sections. If we're to do for a section before we end up today, let's say we take a section here and then we cut a section up through this view. Let's say, for example, double clicking on the head of the section will take you to the section you've just created. So you can see we have a section already here. Starting point, you can go to your view template and apply your view template. So apply view template to this view. I have this presentation. I already have some sections already, prior presentation section. Let me just apply it to see how it comes out. So this is my presentation section. If I apply the ones for this other one, slightly different. There are some walls I cut through that are looking too dark. I might want to sort that out. So once you have all this stuff sorted out prior, it makes it easier for you to work out items and make them work properly. So this for a section, a presentation section, I have one of my view templates. Avoid these clusters a lot if you can. In fact, you have to, not whether you can or not, so that people will be able to read it, because architectural drawings should be organized and arranged properly. There are some things I've not touched on, like line thickness or line styles in some of these presentation works, but we can also look at that later. The background did not come out here, so if I go to, I clicked the wrong thing. I went to a realistic view, and creating realistic view is going to be like almost rendering the view, and it's going to be very heavy on your system. I don't advise you turn it on at all while working, because it's going to be heavy on your view. So I was just trying to continue the background I was using initially with the other views. So, well, we've gotten the point. I'll be expecting that I'll be able to create a full presentation plans, both section, floor plans, and all the whatnots that you have. In the sections, for me, just as a point of to note, it's good you highlight the cut patterns of the floors and walls. So if I select the floors and walls, maybe one floor, one wall, right click, override graphics in view by category, and make sure that their cut lines is slightly thicker, let's say maybe 7 mm, something of this nature. If it's okay, if it's too much, you can bring it down to 6, stuff like that. You can do some stuff with regards to the cut pattern so that the cut walls comes out properly. That would be good. We might also look at sectional 3Ds. That's also possible. So I'm going to stop here for today. For next class, we'll try as much as we can to look at how we are putting our work in presentations, ground floor, first floor. I'm sure you already get the check with you get the what I'm trying to emphasize on: quality of the presentation, setting up your graphics, making sure that it's consistent, floor plan wise, elevation wise, these things are consistent. So um, we'll stop here now. This is sorry. Okay. So we have these two elevations, and we'll stop here for today. So thanks for your time. For the assignment, you have to continue this presentation work, set up your view template. Make sure it's consistent for the elevations and sections throughout. Have like 4 elevations on sheet, the same project we've done today, and then have like 2 sections of it on sheet. Next week, we'll look at sectional 3Ds that you might be able to add. And just before that, after next week, we'll be rounding up with the presentation drawings. And then we'll be moving on to working drawings. So that's where we're going to stop for today. So, yeah, thanks for watching. We have about, I think at maximum, I saw about 40 people in class, thereabout. So the class rep will please try as much as you can to get attendance, at least from the live chat. Maybe we'll to get that. If you are two watching, you might inform him so that he takes care of that. I will go through the assignments you've submitted today, and then we'll see next week. Thank you, and have a good day.